The flight was boarding as usual. Passengers moved down the narrow aisle looking for their seats. 16-year-old Jordan Williams, a black teenager traveling alone, quietly settled into his spot by the window. It was his first time flying without family, and he was both nervous and excited. He placed his backpack carefully under the seat, pulled out his phone, and started listening to music while the rest of the passengers found their places. As the cabin filled, a flight attendant walked past, scanning the rows. When her eyes landed on Jordan, something in her expression hardened. She stopped suddenly beside his row. "You need to sit up straight and pay attention. Put that phone away right now," she said sharply. Her voice was so loud that other passengers turned their heads. Jordan froze. He had seen other people with phones still in their hands. Some were even taking selfies or texting. He quickly nodded, locked his screen, and set the phone on his lap. But the attendant wasn't satisfied. "Don't give me attitude," she snapped, even though Jordan hadn't said a word. "If you can't follow simple instructions, maybe you shouldn't be on this flight." A middle-aged man across the aisle frowned. "Ma'am, he wasn't doing anything wrong," the man muttered under his breath, but the attendant ignored him. Jordan felt a lump rise in his throat. He wasn't trying to cause trouble. He pulled his seatbelt tight and stared at the floor, hoping it would end there. 2 minutes later, it got worse. The same attendant returned, this time with a clipboard in hand. "I'm going to need to see your boarding pass again," she demanded. Jordan handed it over, his hands shaking. She glanced at it, then at him. "Are you sure this is your seat? You're in first boarding group? Are you sure you didn't sneak up here?" The boy's cheeks burned red. "No, ma'am. My dad bought the ticket online. This is my seat." By now, murmurs spread through the cabin. A woman a few rows back spoke up. "Why are you picking on him? He's just a kid." Still, the attendant pressed on. "If you lie about your boarding group, that's grounds for removal. Do you understand?" Jordan sat frozen. He hadn't lied. He hadn't done anything wrong. That's when another passenger pulled out his phone and quietly began recording. The tension in the cabin was heavy, and people knew something wasn't right. Jordan's phone buzzed in his hand. His father, Marcus Williams, was calling to check on him before takeoff. Jordan, holding back tears, answered in a hushed voice. "Dad, I think I'm in trouble. The flight attendant keeps yelling at me." Marcus immediately sat upright at his desk miles away. He was no ordinary parent. He was a senior executive at the very airline Jordan was flying with, and he was furious. "Put me on speaker," Marcus said firmly. Jordan hesitated but obeyed. He placed the phone on his tray table and tapped speaker. "This is Marcus Williams," his father's voice boomed across the row. "Who is the attendant yelling at my son?" The flight attendant's face went pale. She stammered, "Sir, I was just making sure." "You were just humiliating a 16-year-old who did nothing wrong," Marcus cut in. "I want to speak to your captain right now." The surrounding passengers fell silent, eyes wide. Some even smiled faintly, realizing this confrontation was about to flip upside down. Within a minute, the captain himself appeared, alerted by the crew. He crouched by Jordan's seat, calm and professional. "Son, are you okay?" he asked gently. Jordan nodded but stayed quiet, afraid of making things worse. Marcus's voice thundered from the phone. "Captain, this is Marcus Williams, Vice President of Operations for this airline. Your attendant just accused my son of lying about his ticket and shouted at him in front of the entire cabin. I expect this flight not to leave the ground until this situation is addressed." The captain's eyes widened slightly. He recognized the name immediately. Standing up, he gave a curt nod. "Yes, sir. Understood." Turning to the attendant, his tone grew firm. "Step into the galley, now." She opened her mouth to argue, but one look from the captain silenced her. She disappeared to the back of the plane. The captain addressed the passengers. "Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be delayed a few minutes while we sort out a crew issue. Thank you for your patience. Whispers rippled through the cabin. Everyone knew what crew issue meant. In the galley, the attendant faced a supervisor who had been called before takeoff. Within 10 minutes, she was removed from duty for the flight. Back at Jordan's seat, the captain reassured him. "You have nothing to worry about. This is your seat, and you belong here." Passengers nearby nodded in support. The woman from earlier leaned across the aisle. "You handled that so well, sweetheart. I'm sorry you had to go through it." Jordan managed a small smile. Before the plane finally pushed back from the gate, Marcus called again privately. "You did the right thing, son. I'm proud of you. I'll handle the rest." And he did. By the next morning, the airline released an official statement apologizing directly to Jordan and his family. They promised retraining for the crew involved and emphasized their commitment to treating all passengers with dignity and respect. For Jordan, the experience was painful but eye-opening. He learned that sometimes standing still and saying nothing was powerful enough because the truth spoke for itself. And when others around him stood up too, justice followed quickly. As for the flight attendant, she was suspended pending a full review. Her actions had not only embarrassed a young passenger, but also risked the reputation of the entire airline. The story spread quickly online after passengers shared what they had witnessed. Many praised the captain for acting swiftly, and Jordan for staying calm in the face of unfair treatment. The flight eventually landed safely at its destination. But for Jordan, the trip would never be just another summer visit. It was the day. He realized that even in moments of injustice, one call, one voice, and the truth could change everything.